10 o'clock check of your Dow Jones of the market. Dow Jones down 1 point to 41,962.
Godot, nice touch pass to R.J. Davis in transition for the layup. Davis, one crossover, 2-mile-long triple. Are you kidding me? That was from downtown Cincinnati. Carolina on the run. Godot, long pitch ahead. Great catch, man. Finished by Trimble. Trimble, hangs in the air. Take that, Dayton. We're first in flight. Trimble bangs it in for 2. Godot spins by his defender off the glass with the left hand. Are you kidding me? Spins out to R.J. Davis. Mile-long 3. Count it, baby. Put up the 3 goggles, RJ.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox here as well. Not just any drive. It is a morning edition. It's 10 o'clock in the morning for those of you who are turned upside down by clocks. The Fan Tournament Tailgate edition on 99.9 The Fan is presented by Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fairway Green, First Horizon Bank, Wake Med, Roofworks, Metro Elevator, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford as we get you ready for the dance. One of my favorite parts of the entire March Madness, chaos, bracket, all of it is right now. It is the moments before the games get started, and you have 2 hours officially to fill out your bracket. The Clemson, not Clemson, Louisville, got my ACC teams mixed up. Louisville Creighton game tips off in about 2 hours. You'll hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan.
That's right.
That is the opener of the 64-team bracket. And the reason why right now is one of my favorite parts of the entire month, the entire ceremony, is everyone's bracket is perfect right now. Mm-hmm. Everyone's bracket is completely flawless.
It's pristine.
And by Monday, no one's will be. Sometimes there's like one person in Idaho who's like, I don't know, I picked randomly, and they're still perfect going into the second weekend. But it never lasts. So I say that to say we're going to break it down every which way. Right, we're going to talk about matchups, long shots, favorites. We're going to talk about the teams that we know, right? UNC and Duke getting started in the 64-team bracket tomorrow. But high point, we're going to talk about UNCW. Will Wade, the next head coach of NC State, reportedly will be playing today against Clemson. We're gonna talk about it. We're going to get you ready. But I want to just get ahead of it. It's the most humbling event in sports. Nobody knows anything. If you're filling out your bracket, you want to take a chance, take a chance. If you're filling out your bracket and you get a gut feeling, roll with that gut feeling. I don't care if you call yourself a bracketologist, an analyst. I don't care if you played college basketball, coach college basketball, watch college basketball, or have never even seen a college basketball game. There's nobody that knows everything about all of this. Take it with a grain of salt. Play your gut. Have fun. With that being said, if fun says number 13 High Point is going to upset number 4 Purdue, which, by the way, is one of the more trendy upset picks in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
Just know that that's an Alan Huss coaching audition for the world. He wins a game or two here. Maybe not this year, but he enters into that Ryan Odom kind of world for next year. McNeese State versus Clemson. All right, we're just going to take a quick little look at the bracket here. McNeese State, number 12, with NC State's reported next coach, Will Wade, leading them against number 5 Clemson. The ACC, which I feel like I've become a strange like defender of. Like I'm just AC. Like I'm going to wars against the SEC faithful and the Big Ten faithful. And if Mountain West wants some smoke, they can have it.
We stand on business.
The ACC overplays their seeds in the NCAA tournament darn near every year. Now, normally what that looks like is, 6, 7 teams get in, 3 or 4 of them really overplay, right? Final 4 team, a couple of Elite 8 teams, that's what it looks like. And it gives us a lot of ammunition in that argument. When there's only 4 teams getting in, like this year, each team really has to carry their weight. So Clemson, I know McNeese State is going to be a trendy deal, partially because Will Wade is such a highly thought of coach. Brad Brownell and Clemson, I need you to handle your business. I need you to handle your business. And in a weird way, Will Wade wants you to handle his business. Because next year, when he's in the ACC coaching for NC State, he's going to want that net ranking to be high. He's going to want the reputation of the league to be high. He's going to want his wins to count, which means he needs the ACC to go out and build their reputation once again right now. So, like, current Will Wade wants McNeese State. Future Will Wade likely wants Clemson for the future of the ACC, which, by the way, is a thing. Did you see what John Curry tweeted out about UNC?
Can't say I did.
Okay, so John Curry is the athletic director at Wake Forest. During the ACC demolition of a Mountain West team, during the UNC demolition of San Diego State, what was that, 2 nights ago now? John Curry tweeted out. Actually, I almost want to just read it because I don't want to paraphrase it and
just read it
and misspeak it all. And I believe I have it written down somewhere. If not, I'll find it. It just showed what I'm reading this to you with the intention of doing is showing you that there is ACC pride amongst these teams. So UNC and Duke might not play till tomorrow, but they're rooting for Clemson today. All right, here it is. John Curry during the game, the UNC demolition of San Diego State in the first round. John Curry tweeted out, shocked to see a team that finished 13-7 and 5th in a, in quotations, down ACC squeak by a 4th place 14-6 Mountain West team by just 27 points. Then he hit 2 hashtags, right? Because if there's something that the older generation loves, it's throwing a couple of hashtags that are used incorrectly. Mm-hmm. Hashtag don't trust the net. Hashtag who you play. So, yes, go Clemson is what I'm saying. It is very much like siblings. In the ACC tournament, you scrap with the ACC. In the NCAA tournament, suddenly it's like, no, we're the only ones that can beat Clemson. Everywhere else, we want Clemson to handle their own. Shout out to UNC Dub, Wilmington. They're a 14 seed taking on 3rd-seeded Texas Tech today. Looking at that game, just, rooting for local. UNCW, and I don't pretend to. I watched one UNCW game front to back this year, and it was when they beat my Delaware Blue Hens in the CAA championship. So I don't pretend to be an expert here. But looking at their stats, 9 guys. 9 play at least 19 minutes for UNCW. That is a super deep, super equal rotation. And all of them, it's not like, a couple of them played 3 games. Like they've all played out 22 games or more. So injuries may have impacted a little bit, but not a ton. And then they're going up against Texas Tech, which is the exact opposite. Texas Tech has JT Toppin. He is the 6'8", 19-year-old Big 12 Player of the Year, All-American, future pro. And it's so UNCW is trying to fight a sword with paper cuts. They're trying to win a fight with a bunch of different things thrown at them. And crazier things have happened in the tournament, right? Crazier things have happened. The team that plays like a team does help. The team that plays like a team can take down the Big 12 squad with the one big star. All of that to say, it is a great day. NCAA tournament day. What I call the first round starts today. I know there's the first round games. But looking at the 16 games played today, there's a bunch of good ones. There's also a bunch of information gathering for the next line, right? Because, we're talking about Creighton and Louisville. Auburn has to watch that game, right? Auburn, the number 1 overall seed, is going to be playing them in the next game. When, I talk about the conveyor belt, it's cranking, right? When there's only 2 days between games, you need to be scouting before you win your game because there's not enough time in a week. There's not enough time in a day to get your team ready. So pay attention to the bracket. Fill out your brackets. You have another hour and 50 minutes to do so. Dennis is raising his hand.
By the way, we're live on YouTube right now. So in our YouTube live chat, feel free to leave us your Final Four predictions.
Ooh, I like it.
Just who's your Final Four? Give us your 4 schools. If you want to give us a champ, that's totally fine. Leave us your Final Four prediction. By the way, the NC State moderator off that same question said, I got $5 on UNC to get to the Final Four. As a State fan, I know it's possible, especially when no one except your locker room believes you can do it. I think it's UNC's why not us year.
First of all, that's an emotional hedge, and I respect it.
Yes.
You put a little money on the team you don't want to win, so it's like even if you're sad, at least you get cash. That's not a bad move from a State fan.
It's not bad.
Secondly, I do see the like self-congratulations of I think UNC can do it because we did it last year is very much a like, well, we showed the way, so if they want to do it, then they could follow in our path. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. If they want to come out and say, why not us, then, why not them? Ha-ha. But I love a rivalry. Love a rivalry. Love a rivalry. Talk your trash. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't talk your trash on Manor Service Company. Tim Donnelly here for Manor Service Company. Talk your praise about Manor Service Company. They are locally owned, which is important, in the community. They don't do it enough, but they should talk their trash about all of the philanthropic pursuits that they have their hands in across the triangle, but they keep it quiet. I'll speak for them and say Manor Service Company is entrenched in our community. They care about the community, and they care about you. They care about keeping you cool in the summertime. They'll fix your cooling, your air conditioner. They care about keeping you hot warm, I should say, in the wintertime. They'll fix your heating. They care about keeping you your water damage gone, right? If you have a leak, you have a little plumbing issue, they'll come out and fix that up. And, they care about everything. When it comes to electric, what did we talk about? You need TVs, you need screens. You might be testing your electrical system today because you normally watch one TV. Today, you got all 8 fired up because you're watching all the games. If you have any issues, Manor Service Company can help you with it all. The number to call is 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. You can also visit them online at manorservices.com. That's manorservices.com. The Fan Tournament Tailgate on 99.9 The Fan will continue, and we have to react in college basketball news to Will Wade being reported as the next head coach of NC State. Next year, when we're doing the Fan Tournament Tailgate, will we be talking about highly ranked, highly seeded NC State led by Will Wade? Stick around.
It's the Jeep Celebration event at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Get ready for the ride of your life with 25% off your new 2024 Jeep Gladiator. Cruise through the toughest terrain, tackle any adventure, and look great doing it. Whether you're off-roading or on the road, the Gladiator is built for all. So get off your keister and get to Heister because this deal won't last long. See dealer for details. Hurry into the Jeep Celebration event. On now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagames.nc.gov. T&Cs apply.
Welcome to AT&T. How can I help?
Hey, I thought I could trust my twins with my phone, but they outnumber me, man.
Whoa, that's a lot of glitter paint. Let's trade
Lives?
At AT&T, everyone can trade in an old or glittered iPhone, any year, any condition, and save on a new iPhone. Ask how to get iPhone 16 Pro on us. New and existing customers. Savings vary by device and trade-in combinations. Restrictions apply. See att.com for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
This ain't your grandpa's golf game. It's League Mini Golf. Join the Hop Shots Golf League at Raleigh Beer Garden on Glenwood South. Registration is now open, so grab your teammate and get signed up at theRaleighBeerGarden.com. Each two-player team will play a round each week. There's a weekly winner and a big tournament grand prize, plus an end-of-season tournament party with free food and bevs. Hop Shots League Night starts March 24th, so get your sign-up in today at theRaleighBeerGarden.com. Then get ready to have a ball.
Attention watch enthusiasts and collectors. Bailey's Fine Jewelry invites you to an exclusive pre-owned Rolex event happening for 2 days only, March 21st and 22nd at their Village District location in Raleigh. Discover North Carolina's largest selection of vintage and pre-owned Rolex timepieces featuring sought-after models like the Daytona and Submariner and collector favorites like the iconic Pepsi and Hulk. Whether you're a seasoned collector or searching for your very first Rolex, this is your chance to explore an unmatched collection March 21st and 22nd only at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in the Village District. Visit BaileyBox.com for event details. Your perfect Rolex awaits.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month. Hello, Creighton Blackwell here at Coastal Credit Union 99.9 The Fan, and we're here to celebrate yet another scholar athlete. This month, we're at Middle Creek High School, where we celebrate our newest scholar athlete of the month, Kristen Norton.
My parents have always been there for me, and then my teammates, they really helped me with the mental part of it. So they really helped bring me up when I make mistakes or something, and just keep me grounded.
She's just a great person. She's a great leader by example and also vocally.
She's just that type of person. It doesn't matter what the situation is, anything that can help the team. She's a great young lady.
It's amazing to have on the team. She's a really good role model and a leader on the team.
She's always first to step in and try something new to help the team.
1, 2, 3, Mustang!
What does winning this award mean to you?
It just means that all my hard work has really shown. Some days I'm like, what have I done? What have I accomplished? But getting this was people have actually seen my improvements and my accomplishments. So it's good. It's really good. Yeah.
Congratulations, Kristen.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Every day, our poor solar reps knock on doors. They smile, they wave. They try to tell you how to cut your power bill in half with 0 down. And what happens?
This has to be a scam.
Yep, because saving money is obviously a conspiracy. Here's a wild idea. Just visit SaveWithSolarNow.com and see for yourself. No awkward door knocking required.
Michael Swain from 24/7 Sports. I want to follow up on that. There's some rumors linking you to NC State specifically. Have you, your agent, anyone close to you spoken to NC State?
Yes.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan Tournament Tailgate. Getting you ready for the big dance on 99.9 The Fan is presented by Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fairway Green, First Horizon Bank, Wake Med, Roofworks, Metro Elevator, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac, Buick GMC in Sanford. There are a boatload of college basketball stories happening right now. 16 games today, 16 games tomorrow, and that's just the start of it. That's just the NCAA tournament, by the way. There's also Will Wade becoming the reported next head coach of the NC State Wolfpack, which I do want to dive into. Dennis, you said there's some feedback coming from our YouTube live stream?
Yes, there is. There's a question here from YAG. Quick question about Will Wade. What's the realistic expectation for improvement in the first 3 years for the Pack?
The expectation for the first 3 years. First of all, I love the question. And I think I would have asked that question as well a year ago. But now, I don't think 3 years is it's a 1 year question. 3 years is too long. We've talked about this. The college sports world is no longer looked at in terms of eligibility. It used to be you had a great freshman class. You're like, all right, what do we need to build for the next 3.5 seasons to get ready to maximize their time on campus? You look at it now as 1 year, pretend everybody is on a 1 year contract, right? Your window is simultaneously opening at the beginning of the season and closing at the end of the season every year. So what is the expectation for the next 3 years? I would say, well, what is your expectation for next year, and then times it by 3, consecutively. Look at what Louisville did. And I'm going to use them as an example a ton because Louisville was at the bottom of the ACC. And State's at the bottom of the ACC this year. But Louisville was for multiple years consecutively right there at the bottom.
They were bad.
They brought in Pat Kelsey, new coach. I mean, it's like a snap of the fingers. They were in the ACC championship game this year. That's how they're going to be the first team we hear on the NCAA tournament broadcast coming up at noon.
12 brand new players.
12 brand new. Not brand new we hadn't heard of them. They were not on Louisville's campus last year. So Will Wade, I don't see why the expectations would be anything less, especially if NC State kind of rallies the funding and supports the NIL and everything in a similar way to Louisville. If you give somebody the money, there's no reason to expect to wait. If you give somebody the NIL cash, there's no reason to be like, well, in 3 years, do you think you could have it up to this particular point?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we give you the cash now, this year, right now, make it happen. So I think going into next year, the expectation is top 5 in the ACC. If they're giving them the funding that I think they are. It's I don't see a reason to temper expectations yet. We'll hear if the funding isn't there. We'll hear if the boosters aren't as all in as it seems. But I don't see a reason to temper expectations yet. And then take that and multiply it by 3, right? So if you're looking for a 3-year, I say you should be in the top 5 of the ACC all 3 years. You should be in the NCAA tournament all 3 years. You should make at least a run or two because it's a bit hit or miss, a bit lucky when you do go on runs or not. But hey, I'm not tempering expectations at all. And matter of fact, because of that, because I want Will Wade to hit the ground running if I'm a State fan, sure, he's starting today against Clemson in his NCAA tournament run with McNeese State for this year. Will Wade, if the agreement is there and he is set and ready to become the next head coach of NC State, which all reports say he is, he has already started his 2026 NCAA tournament run. Because there's a great article on ESPN.com about the way Duke assembled their roster this year, right? And they're the number 2 overall seed and number 1 seed in their region, so something right happened. And right in the first paragraph or two, might have been the first paragraph, I'm doing this from memory, John Shire said he sees the most important part of his job as roster management, right? Assembling the talent. The most important part of his job is basketball coach. He's the one calling the plays to win the game with 2 seconds left, and he's the one subbing guys in and out. And he said the most important part of his job is assembling the roster. That's already started for next year. So Will Wade, good luck with McNeese State. Good luck doing the game planning and the rotations and subbing in and out and calling baseline inbounds. That's not the most important part of your job. Most important part of your job is putting together your team for next season. And I was joking with Dennis earlier today. Louisville, again, using them as the turnaround example, they must have watched last year's 12 versus 5 matchup in the NCAA tournament where JMU, the 12 seed, beat the 5th seeded Wisconsin Badgers. Because in that game, just a random first round of the NCAA tournament, 12 versus 5, the leading scorer for JMU in the upset over Wisconsin was Terrence Edwards Jr. for JMU. He was the leading scorer for Louisville this year. He is the leading scorer for Louisville this year. For Wisconsin in that game, the best player was a defensive wizard who led the entire game, both teams in assists, Chucky Hepburn. He is the team leader in assists for Louisville this year. He's an All-American. He's a Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. So Pat Kelsey was watching that game like the rest of us, while we were watching that game going, ha, 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 I picked JMU as the 12 seed to upset him, or darn it, I had Wisconsin in the Elite Eight. This ruins it for me. While we were doing that, he was doing, does anybody have the number for Chucky Hepburn and that guy scoring all the points for JMU? Let's get that. He was shopping. That's what Will Wade needs to be doing this weekend, in addition to coaching McNeese State. The sizzle of Will Wade is great, and that was the story of yesterday. Right? The reports came out that he's going to be the next head coach of NC State, and immediately buzz. Immediately, fans giving more money to the collectives. Immediately, NC State was chosen. Right? One of the takes that I saw from multiple diehard, longtime State fans was, it seemed like the first time State got their guy, right? They almost always started their coaching searches with pie in the sky hope, and then that coach says no or goes somewhere else, or that coach signs an extension with the team that he's coaching, and then you settle for your 5th choice. And Will Wade seemed like that's who they wanted, pie in the sky, and they've gotten him. So that's all great. He still needs to do the basketball stuff, right? If you have $8 million to spend on NIL and you give $2 million of it to a guy who can't shoot, that's a wasted $2 million. He needs to pick the right basketball players to come to Raleigh. He needs to pick the right basketball players and then put them in the right situations. So, in a weird way, that's already going on. If you're in the same social media circles I am, you see everybody going into the portal. Everybody. And I'm only exaggerating a little bit. It's like 40%.
Oh, it's a ton.
Ton of good players in the portal. Picking the right ones to give your money to becomes the most important part of your job.
Yeah, roster construction, massive thing.
And prices will go up based on how they play in the NCAA tournament. Somebody has a couple 20-pointers in an upset win over high seeds, and their agent's going to be like, yeah, that $200,000 we spoke about, double it.
That's going to at least be $250 now.
Yeah. It's yesterday's price, not today's price. So you got to pay attention. You got to have, an entire plan. It's like free agency. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, and the Canes also play today. We can't ignore that.
We have a first goal score prediction coming up.
We can't ignore that. So as we get ready for the Canes, first here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. With this gorgeous weather, I'm definitely on the motorcycle a lot nowadays. Got it out of storage a couple weeks ago, and when I was picking up my bike, I saw the custom Canales motorcycle that Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, the Law Tigers, and your Carolina Hurricanes are all teaming up once again to give away. It's the fourth year in a row that the group, again, Law Tigers, Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, Carolina Hurricanes, fourth year in a row they're giving away a motorcycle, but this is the first year it's a custom build. It's one of one. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw it again this past Monday. It's absolutely gorgeous bike. I can't win it, but you can. The details on this thing are fantastic. Go to caniacsbike.com. Again, caniacsbike.com. That's where you enter for your chance to win the bike. You'll see pictures of it right there. All the details, again, custom painted with Canes colors, Canes logos, decals, all the small details along the handlebars and small details are absolutely phenomenal. And again, it's a custom-built motorcycle. It is one of one. Go to caniacsbike.com to enter for your chance to win. You have until April 6th, folks. That's just 2.5 weeks away. April 6th, the deadline to enter. Go to caniacsbike.com. Bike will be given away on the ice the last home game of the year. caniacsbike.com to enter. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Canes play tonight, way late, 10:30 start, I believe it is, against San Jose on the West Coast. Am I crazy, or does it feel like they haven't played hockey in weeks? Are they going to be ready to roll against San Jose? Stick around.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence. Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
We want to invite you to Atlantic Spas and Billiards to bring more relaxation, wellness, and fun to your home. Sit in a hot tub from Hot Spring or Caldera, relax in a hot sauna from Finleo, or swim in our showroom in our endless pool. We have a fully stocked game room showroom with darts, ping pong, foosball, air hockey, pool tables, and more. Everything we sell for your home, from hot tubs to grills, from saunas to pool tables, promotes relaxation, wellness, and fun. Atlantic Spas and Billiards on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh and Market Street in Wilmington, AtlanticSBNC.com.
Looking for the perfect kitchen, bath, or flooring? At Home Outlet, we don't just promise the guaranteed lowest price, we back it up.
Yeah, but how low are we talking?
We'll beat any competitor's price by 10%.
That's wow. But okay, what makes your store better?
Funny you should ask. We're 100% employee owned. Everyone here has a stake in making your home projects affordable and stress-free.
So I'm getting expert advice, unbeatable prices, and I'm supporting employees who actually care?
Exactly. Why shop anywhere else? Home Outlet, kitchens, baths, floors, and more at the guaranteed lowest price. Visit us at homeoutlet.com today.
Strawberries and springtime go hand in hand. Now at Hardee's, they come together with a hint of lemon in our famous buttermilk biscuits. Introducing Hardee's Strawberry Lemon Biscuits, loaded with berry goodness and drizzled in icing. Served warm from sunrise to supper time. The perfect taste to bring on the sunshine all day long. But hurry, this special strawberry lemon flavor is as fleeting as springtime itself. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Available for a limited time. Exclusions may apply by time of day.
could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold, hard cash. You can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get the money you need for anything. 919-381-1760, LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Classic. That's a Saturday Night Live skit, right?
Yes.
They gave lyrics to the. I mean, that's hilarious. I'm not
the
gonna
round ball rock.
I'm not going to
basketball. Yes.
Not going to explain the joke to everybody because that means I'm not going to make it funny.
That's all you need.
But that is hilarious. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. This is news in sports, which is interesting, and it could help Stanford real quick. Did you see the Celtics just got sold?
No, I did not.
Yeah, Bill Chisholm, managing partner at Symphony Technology Group, has agreed to purchase the Boston Celtics from the Grousbeck family for a valuation of $6.1 billion. Sources tell ESPN this is from Shams Charania, now the largest sale for a sports franchise in North America. I did some Googling during the commercial break because my first thought, this is how sad college sports is now. As soon as I see a new person with a bunch of liquid billions, I go like, who are they a booster of? Who's about to win a national championship because they decide, right? This is obviously a basketball-oriented person. Wyc Grousbeck, who was the governor of the Celtics, just got obviously an influx of cash. He went to Princeton undergrad. All right, that doesn't help us much. He went to Michigan to get his law degree. That doesn't help us much. Did get an MBA from Stanford. Perhaps he wants to give about $20 million NIL dollars to Stanford, and then all of a sudden the ACC has a new power. That's all I'm saying. It's not like Stanford is hurting for billionaire alum, but all it takes is one to decide your team wants to be a juggernaut, and then you can go on a run. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is the fan tournament tailgate here on 99.9 The Fan, leading up to the games being broadcast starting at noon. So fill out your brackets now. But there's also today on 99.9 The Fan, it is a hockey night in Carolina. Canes versus San Jose.
Canes after dark. Puck drop in 12 hours.
I mean, once you watch about 10 and a half consecutive hours of college basketball, if you're feeling like you need more sports but maybe a little tired of basketball, perfect. We're going to give you 3 periods of hockey on the West Coast featuring the Canes. And this is not, like, I always get accused, right, for the small pocket of Canes social media that accuses me of jinxing it. This is not me talking. This is the records talking. The Canes are playing the worst team in the NHL. There is, out of the entire league, one team that has been mathematically eliminated from the postseason. San Jose. So the Canes are going all the way to the West Coast to play the worst team in the NHL. And this is where, it's actually a pet peeve of mine because I'm like, oh, did calendars surprise you? Like, oh, when people say, like, how is it March already? I'm like, because we just had a month of February. Doesn't it feel like the Canes haven't played in weeks? I know Saturday is, Saturday ago. Like, I know how the order of the week goes, but for some reason it feels much longer than the amount of time it's actually been.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I love that because the Canes obviously had momentum, right? They were rolling. They 5-0 against Philly the last time we saw them, but it feels like that was last year. So can they keep that going over what is obviously like a gap and a rest period in their schedule? seems like forever ago. Can you pick it up right where you left off? Is it rest or is it rust? You know what I mean? That kind of deal.
You normally don't get 4 days off in the middle of a season like this.
Especially, like, I remember looking at their schedule. I feel like I skipped over this. I must have blanked on it. Their schedule when they came back from the Four Nations Cup, I was like, oh, wow, this is, it was like, it felt like 30 games in 50 days. I was like, look at this. They don't have any breaks. Apparently I missed just a random, like, 5-day break in the middle of the schedule. I think it's good for a few reasons. They needed to get healthy, had some guys with some small injuries. Also, head spinning, right? Logan Stankoven, Mark Jankowski, even guys that were in trade rumors that ended up not being traded. I think it's good to take a breath and kind of understand where you are, what your role is, who you're playing with, you know, for Jankowski and Stankoven, and maybe even still Taylor Hall. You know, settle into the area a bit more and, you know, not have to worry about playing games while you're trying to figure out, like, you know, I don't know, where your bank is, and if you've got family, like where they're going to be going to the doctor and like setting up all the things that you do when you move. So that's going on. Which actually, I think I care about this too much, but I can't get myself from feeling it. I love a faraway road trip for team building. There are 3 West Coast games, a back-to-backs mixed in there. They're like I love that for a team that is bonding and gelling. You know, I always think of it, it's like summer camp, right? You're away, you're staying in the hotels, you're not going home to your families. You're not like, all right, see you after practice. It's like, all right, what are you doing? Who are we talking about? So I want to see what the Canes do as they continue to bond, because the team is already bonding. It's Freddie Anderson's turn in net tonight, so we'll see how that goes. But the goalies have been playing well as of late, and I expect them to continue doing so. If there's one concern-ish, if there's one concern a little bit, do you think anyone feels like they're playing for their jobs out there? We had the whole conversation yesterday with Svetch coming back soon, hopefully, with William Carrier coming back soon, hopefully, from injury, with Orlov apparently back and healthy now. You know, what do you do? Who do you bench? Who becomes a scratch? Mark Jankowski, Tyson Jost, Logan Stankoven, Eric Robinson, Jack Roslovic. Even if they're not playing for their spot in the active lineup, are they playing for their spot on their line? Are they playing for their spot, you know, ice time, right? They don't want to be bumped down to a fourth line maybe. And does that change the way they play? Do they press a little bit? If there's a concern, that would be about the only one I have.
I remember late in the season last year, there was some competition with Jack Drury, Jesperi Kokiniemi, and Evgeny Kuznetsov. There were a couple of center spots open. Someone was going to be probably out of the lineup. But then Jesper Foss got hurt at the very last game of the year, so that kind of negated any sort of competition. But that was something that was going on late in the season between, you know, those 3 guys. So you're going to get that possibly when William Carrier does come back, when Svechnikov, when both those guys are fully in the lineup. Rod doesn't have to deal with that right now. It's kind of like, hey, I'll deal with that. I'll cross that bridge when we actually do get there, because you still are waiting to see William Carrier actually skate with the team and actually be in a practice. He did skate a little bit before yesterday's practice, but still hasn't participated fully with the team. So who knows when he's actually going to be ready to go.
It is very much so, like, that's why I say the pressing might happen. Like, you have time. Carrier's not back. You know what I mean? But you don't know how much time you have, and you want to make a great impression to keep your role, you know, as substantial as possible. We have a bit of breaking news here. Just came in our email. Go ahead and fire that bad boy. The Campbell Camels, the Fighting Camels.
That's right.
Of Campbell have announced their next head men's basketball coach. It is John Andershek. Want to make sure I pronounce that correctly. John Andershek is the next head coach of the Fighting Camels men's basketball program. He comes from the assistant coaching position at Florida.
Oh, really? Okay.
So he has helped the Gators to a number 1 seed in this year's NCAA tournament.
Playing here in Raleigh, by the way.
There you go. That's true. I wonder if, I bet you there was a conversation that took place in some restaurant somewhere near where we sit right now.
You know?
Where
hey, Take a little trip down here. Bowie's Creek. It's not that far.
I got to meet with a friend. That's interesting.
You probably felt the amazing weather yesterday. It's like, this is nice.
This is nice, yeah. And it appears, based on, and I haven't had a chance to read the entire press release, that he will finish out the season on Florida's bench as an assistant coach.
Okay.
So a formal introductory press conference will take place following the conclusion of Florida's season. But he is the next head coach of Campbell. We'll have reactions to that, what it means for the Fighting Camels, maybe later on. But right now that we've broken that news, we do need Kane's first goal scorer predictions.
That we do.
It is, for those of you that are listening to us in the morning and maybe you're not in the car at the 4:33 afternoon time on Kane's game days that we do this during our afternoon show, it is a very, very simple game. We need 3 callers, official contestants, to call in and predict who they think will score the first goal for the Canes today and in what period you think they will score it. There is a pretty sweet prize on the line. I'll tell you about the prize, and I'll give the number in a second, but first, Dennis Cox has something for you.
Folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. It's that time of year. Who's cutting down the nets this year, folks? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. All tournament long, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code Radio100 to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan Tournament Tailgate needs first goal scorer predictions. So call in right now with who you think will score the first goal for the Canes tonight against San Jose, and in what period you think that first goal will be scored. If you get both right, there's an awesome Apex Racing Lab gift certificate for you. But you need to call in now. The number to call, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Canes' first goal scorer predictions up next. Don't go anywhere.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. It's hockey season, baby. I live and work on both coasts, and here's the deal. There's nothing like Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, including half-price pizzas Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and $6 Jamesons on Sunday. Dine in, carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-444-2013. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-444-2013. That's 800-444-2013. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's nonstop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before.
Oh, yeah!
Big money! Visit nclottery.com to get in on the action. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instance for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. All right, everything for the exterior of your home. Do you have a favorite?
I have a favorite, yeah.
I want to hear
it. So windows, doors are my favorite products. The reason why is because we are the best at installing them. You know, there's 1,000 different types of windows on the market, doors on the market, different people installing them, different companies. I don't care how good a window you get. If it's not installed properly, it's not going to do you a bit of good. I always tell people, if you buy a submarine window, the best one in the world, and you have me put it on a submarine, you don't want to get in that submarine.
I don't want to get in the submarine either way.
I hear you. So anyway, so that's the thing I say. So it's really important that you have things installed properly. We've been around since 1961. We've got a 4.9 out of 5-star Google review ratings, over 800 reviews. Give us a call. We'll come out and give you a free no-obligation estimate.
It's the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You can find them online at aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need some Canes first goal scorer predictions. That's what we need right now. And what I need to do is find where Dennis wrote down the names.
Right there at the top of the dock there, sir.
Top of the dock.
You have Casey and Fuquay, Jeremy and Apex,
right.
and Nathan and Clayton.
You said Casey, Jeremy, and Nathan. I'll just write them down old school. We'll start with KC. KC, thank you very much for calling in. Who do you think scores the first goal for the Canes, and in what period do they score it?
I'm going to go with Taylor Hall in the first with a little net front tip in.
A net front tip in for Taylor Hall. I like to ask maybe a question or two here. Why are you going with one of the new guys? What about Taylor Hall makes you think he's gonna score?
Well, he's a former MVP. He's got a lot of skill. I think he did score recently. I think he goes on a little heater here for us in a road trip.
All right. Appreciate it, KC. Stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you to make sure that you get your prize if you do get it right, if it is Taylor Hall in the first. Jeremy, you are up next on the Heaster Automotive Group hotline. Who scores the first goal for the Canes, and in what period?
I'm going to go with my fellow Minnesotan, Jackson Blake.
The rookie. First. You said in the first there? Sorry, I was talking over you.
Yeah, in the first. Sorry, sir.
All right, go ahead and no, I apologize. Go ahead and give some details, right? Just for bragging rights. If it's Blake in the first, you win. But just to show off your knowledge, you know what type of goal is it? How does it develop?
I'm gonna go with the power play. He's been chomping at the bit here lately. Just it just hasn't been finding the net. But power play's been looking good. So I'm gonna go with just power play goal in the first.
All right, appreciate it, Jeremy. Stay on the line. Dennis will grab some info from you. Nathan, you are our third and final official contestant for first goal scorer predictions today. Who scores the first goal for the Canes, and in what period?
We're going to be doing the stanky leg in the second period. It's going to be just a gritty mess in front of the net, and he's going to pop it in.
Now, the Canes are playing a team that is eliminated from the playoffs, the only team. Why don't they score in the first period?
It's a West Coast swing. I think they'll be a little bit slow in the first just because of the time change, but
okay.
They'll get their gears going in the second.
All right, Stanky will get them rolling in the second. Appreciate the call. Stay on the line. Dennis will grab some info from you to make sure you get your prize if you win.
We do have some online predictions.
Which, by the way, that's a good point, good reminder. If you did not get through on the phone line, but you want to show off your knowledge anyway, you can head to our YouTube live stream, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe while you're there, and you go into the comments, and you can comment who you think will score the first goal and in what period.
Micah says Jarvis first period early gets the boys rolling against that awful team. That his words, not mine.
Yep.
Jack Stokes says Jalen Chatfield in the first.
Chatty. Again, this is one of those things where I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's just kind of how I remember it. Even when he hasn't been the one scoring goals, he's been creating a ton of chances. It does seem like Chatty has been more of a playmaker, more of a creator than we've seen in recent times. So, maybe he's finding his kind of offensive vibe or offensive stride is the better way to say that, which I think would be great for the Canes in general. By the way, if one of our official contestants gets it correct, they will win the Ultimate Sim Racing Experience from Apex Racing Lab. Rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination. Experience the ultimate thrill with 20 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks located in Carey's McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh. Visit Apex Racing Lab today and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at apexracinglab.com. All right, so while Dennis grabs that info, again, we broke the news a couple minutes ago. Campbell men's basketball has hired their next head coach, John Andershek. He is the new head coach of Campbell. He has spent the last 2 seasons at Florida as an assistant, so he's helped them be one of the better teams in the SEC. They are a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Prior to that, spent a handful of years, 4 or 5 years as an assistant at Washington State. He's worked at Columbia, which was also his undergrad. If you Google him, and this is, I hand up in the air, not super up to date on my Florida assistant coaches, but I've done some Googling over the last 10 minutes here. It appears as if, and I say this with compliments in my heart, appears to be a brainiac.
Okay, there you go.
He speaks at some high-level conferences and Columbia undergrad, appears to be a brainiac. I'm trying to find out where this list is, but he's referenced quite a bit on a 2020 40 under 40 list, which would include other names on the list based on headlines. I haven't found the list yet. Looks like it's an ESPN 40 under 40 list from 2020. Will Wade was on it. John Shire was on it. Like some other names. I need to see the full deal, but he's been a name with some buzz for some time now.
And Andershek was the youngest on that list, by the way.
I see that as well. Have you found the list, or just I find articles talking about the list? I can't find the list, but I will. I promise you. With that being said, Dennis.
Yes.
We don't have your first goal scorer prediction yet.
I'm actually going to go with what Nathan said. Stankoven. I'm going to go Stankoven in the first, but here's the reason why. He got robbed of a goal.
Oh, okay.
Last game. He got robbed of a goal. The hockey gods do owe Stankoven a goal. He scored one against the Philadelphia Flyers this past Saturday. Unfortunately, Jordan Stahl was offsides when going to retrieve the puck.
Mm-hmm.
It happens, but Stankoven did exactly what he needed to do. Net front, banging in a rebound. That's what I wanted to see. So, yes, give me Stankoven in the first. I'm thinking that he's going to be skating alongside Jordan Stahl, Jordan Martinook. Everyone's going to feel a little fresh, ready to go. Give me Stankoven.
My first goal scorer prediction. What is March and March Madness known for, right? What's the best part of March and March Madness? Upsets, Cinderellas, the unexpected, right? The person with the longest odds, but also somebody who you root for. Also somebody that's got maybe a lot on the line. Tyson Jost in the first, baby.
Okay.
Tyson Jost in the first. He hears the footsteps, right? He hears William Carrier getting healthy. He hears Svetch getting healthy. He knows his time in the lineup might not be for long, but also, I bet you that's what Fairleigh Dickinson or St. Louis or George Mason
St. Peters
or St. Peters or all of these. Underdogs, scrappy, they thought their time was short as well, but all they did was keep winning. Give me Tyson Jost in the first. Something impressive, too, like a clapper from deep. A Tyson Jost full court, coast-to-coast dunk. That's what I want to see.
By the way, Micah hates your pick. He actually said, he said, might as well go Brendan Lemieux in the first. But Soki says, give me the captain in the first period on a redirect.
Yeah, it was. You know what else was unlikely? Villanova in 1985. 8 seed, winning the whole darn thing. You know what else was unlikely? NC State last year. You know what else was? VCU going from the first 4 to the final 4. So, yeah, Tyson Jost, it might be unlikely. Don't get me wrong, but that's what March is about.
Hey, UMBC beat Virginia.
UMBC beat Virginia. Purdue was a 1 seed and lost. I forget who they lost to. But that was unlikely.
How about Mercer over Duke?
How about Mercer? I mean, we could – Duke fans, do you want to walk down that path?
I was hearing Raleigh from her correctly.
Lehigh over Duke. How far do we want?
One of those was, yeah.
How far do we want to go? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Jost in the first is my prediction. When it happens, my bracket is perfect. Right now, though, Tim Donnelly here for – there's no easy transition out of that whole rant. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending and Gordon Miller. Again, this is the second straight day we've had news about a new coach coming to the state of North Carolina, men's basketball, which means they're going to be looking for houses, which means they can't choose the timing, right? They got a new job. They need to move. They need a place where they stay. That's how a lot of us end up moving, right? A job, a family reason. You need to upsize, downsize. It's not because, rates are low, so I'm going to go ahead and do it by choice. It's because life makes you. When you can't choose your timing, you should choose Miller Lending. Rates are high, rates are low. Get a no-cost loan either way. No money out of your pocket for closing costs and fees, no third-party fees of any kind, and knowing that's available to you means if you have to lock in a rate higher than what you were hoping for right now, well, if and when they drop, feel free to refinance, get that lower monthly payment, and again, no closing costs or fees, so there's no money out of your pocket. You're just getting the lower payment. Miller Lending can walk you through it all. In fact, they'd love to, and they're locally owned right here in Cary. So go ahead and give them a call, 919-447-3377 for Miller Lending. That's 919-447-3377, or visit them online, millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. More basketball coming up next. Duke, UNC, they're starting tomorrow. What does that matchup look like? Not against each other. That'd be a national championship matchup. But hey, crazier things have happened. Tyson Jost in the first. UNC and Duke, they start tomorrow in their respective games. We take a look at it next.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharkies. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime and Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Yes.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Welcome to Take 5 Oil Change.
Thanks. Got my seat cushion, crossword puzzle, and can't forget the hand sanitizer. Okay, show me the waiting room.
No need for all that. You can stay in your car.
I'll stay in my car? Get out.
Yep, you stay in. It'll just be 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Get out.
Go ahead, sit back and relax.
Well, I guess I'll save all this for the DMV. If only they took 10 minutes, am I right? I'm sorry.
Take 5. The stay in your car 10-minute oil change.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away? Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So, what's that about?
So, let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Anthony Baglione, tracking a totally quiet first half of the day, but that will not be the case into the afternoon and evening. We have a front on the way that's going to bring some scattered showers and storms through the second half of the day with a high temperature of 76 degrees.
Late morning check of your money. Dow Jones is up 223 points to 42,188.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly. The Fan Tournament Tailgate Edition on 99.9 The Fan of The Drive. As we get you set for the games, less than an hour away now. So have your brackets filled out. Don't wait. The Tournament Tailgate on 99.9 The Fan is presented by Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fairway Green, First Horizon Bank, Wake Med, Roofworks, Metro Elevator, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac, Buick GMC in Sanford. Duke and UNC not playing today. They'll get some practice in at their respective locations, which Duke's is in the Lenovo Center in Raleigh. They get, if you're good enough, if you're a high enough seed, you get to bust to your first round game rather than fly.
By the way, myself, Graham Hill will be there at practice and such today, so check 99.9 The Fan on all the social media platforms and get some behind the scenes content of practice and all those things.
Will Cooper flag play?
We'll find out.
Oh, look at that. We'll start there. Duke found out last night who they're playing. 16 seed. They won the first round game, the playing game. Mount St. Mary's. They beat American last night. If you watch the game, and I did, American's best player got hurt pretty early in that one. Rogers, their leading scorer. So you could say Mount St. Mary's, benefited from that. But Mount St. Mary's played well. Don't get me wrong. They had their two guys, Cordia and Adebayo, scored 22 points each, both career highs for them. So you're getting a team in rhythm if you're Duke. Right? You're playing against a team that once you play in the kind of the Wednesday game, if you play well, you try to ride that momentum, right? If you have guys that are scoring more than they're used to scoring, you try to ride that momentum into a earth-shattering, earth-quaking upset over one of the best teams in the country. Everything I could say about Mount St. Mary's here is just window dressing. It's just, I can tell you all about them. Duke should win the game by a bunch. Duke should end this one early, as they say. And then once they do that, it becomes using the game as an advantage, right? Why do you work so darn hard to be a number one seed? Why do you work so darn hard to get a matchup like this? It's so you can A, have a better chance of advancing. Let's not get crazy. But B, use the game as an advantage, right? The NCAA tournament is a marathon. It's actually, I don't even know if this exists. It's a sprint marathon. You have to run as hard as you possibly can for as long as there's no pacing yourself. But if you get a game like this and you take care of business early, you can make sure you're not putting extra tread on your players. If John Shire gets a 20-point lead and decides, I've seen enough of Con Knipple, or I want Malawash to be exceptionally rested when we play either Baylor or Mississippi State in the second round, he can pull back on their minutes a bit. And especially when you have the depth that Duke has, even with the Cooper Flag potential and Malik Brown probably not being available, they can go onto the bench. They have the players to alleviate some of the huge minutes. And then, again, use it to work on combos that you think might need work. Use it to work on different lineup combinations that maybe you want to have polished up a bit, right? Well, I'm not disrespectful enough to any NCAA tournament team to call it like a scrimmage for Duke. But once you get up big, right, once you show up business-like, take care of business, let your talent do the talking, and get up by a significant margin, you can treat it like a scrimmage in some respects, right? Put your team in some situations. And the other thing is this. If I am Baylor or Mississippi State, and I know once I beat the other, I have to get ready for Duke in 48 hours, you're probably not watching every game. Right? You're probably not going back and watching games from November to see what Duke does. You're going to watch this game a ton. So there's some chess there, right? John Shire, if you want to put a baseline inbounds play in that they're going to, spend the 15 minutes they have to go over plays and film on, put it out there and then have the counter ready for the next game, right? Play that chess game if you can because, you are a 1 seed. You are playing a 16 seed. You're playing a team you should beat by a lot. Use it, right? Every advantage is an advantage, or every advantage should be used as an advantage. UNC, on the other hand, they're playing number 6 Ole Miss, 6-seeded Ole Miss, not number 6. So that's an 11 versus 6. UNC is favored as the 11 seed. 1.5 favorite. ESPN matchup predictor gives them a 56% chance to win, which is good. Don't get me wrong. You want to be the better team in a matchup. Dennis, if I were to ask you this,
okay.
Should we be worried that people are starting to believe in UNC?
I don't know. That's a good question.
We saw it with NC State last year. I think we actually saw it with the Canes this year a bit, where when the pitchforks were at their doorstep after the second Mikko Rantanen trade, the one that sent it to Dallas, and everybody was saying how bad it was, and everybody saying how this roster's not good enough, and everybody suddenly they woke up and they've been playing a lot better. UNC. When everybody believed in them, beginning of the year, top 10 preseason team, even when they lost a couple games, they lost to like Kansas by 3, and they had that storm. People were still going, I believe in them more. And when I say some people, I mean me. I believe in them more after that, showing the mental fortitude in the second half against Kansas. Even though they lost, goodness gracious, I'm excited. Like when everybody believed in them, they underwhelmed. And they went through the ACC regular season schedule, and they underwhelmed. Going into the ACC tournament, nobody really believed in them. They played pretty well. They go to the first 4. The world was yelling about how they should not have been in the NCAA tournament, right? It was a miscarriage of justice, according to John Rothstein, that UNC even made the tournament. So with everybody against them, they played their best basketball game and lit up San Diego State.
They did.
Now, because of that game, the tides are turning. Everyone's going like, well, actually, we've seen this before.
They did win 8 of the last 10.
And the only 2 they lost were to maybe the best team in the country, and they actually played pretty darn well in 2 of those 4 halves. And we've seen teams go from the first 4 and go on runs, and we've seen 11 seeds from the ACC, from the Triangle. You see what I'm getting at here? We've seen it before. And I'm going like, I don't know. UNC seems to react well when nobody believes in them. Is it a problem that people are believing in them? This is nitpicking. You want to be playing your best basketball. That's like mostly joking there. You want to be building confidence. You want people to be building confidence in you based on how you're playing and based on what you're doing, and that's essentially what they're doing.
Yeah, and let's be honest. The last 10 games, now 11 over the last 3 weeks. They've been playing their best, which is you want to be peaking going into March, which is exactly what this Carolina team is doing. Full disclosure, I haven't been my bracket going to the Sweet 16.
I know I have them winning this game.
I have them going to the Sweet 16. I have them beating Ole Miss and then taking down Iowa State in the round of 32 and going to the Sweet 16.
Do you know what's funny?
What's that?
Most people listening are probably saying, oh, wow, he's got a lot of confidence in him. UNC fans are going, why not the Elite 8? Why not the Final Four?
Because they'll run into Michigan State.
Why not?
In the Sweet 16?
Big Michigan State fan, are you?
No.
But not fan. Like, you think highly of them. Fan was the wrong word there.
I think lack of size eventually will catch up to North Carolina.
I need to see how far. Now I know I have them winning this game. This is fun, right? Hey, remember when you turned into the fan tournament tailgate and You listen to Tim scroll on his phone.
Yeah, right.
I have them. Same exact deal.
Sweet 16?
Yeah, Sweet 16.
Why not Elite 8, Tim?
Because I'm losing to Michigan State.
Big Michigan State fan, huh?
I guess. I mean, I like Tom Izzo.
They did face each other last year in the round of 32. UNC did get a win, but again, this Carolina team is so much different than last year's.
Very different beast. If Armando Baycott's walking through that tunnel.
Yeah, and Harrison Ingram.
Big Harrison Ingram guy as well. Look at that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We will give you our full Final Four predictions before the end of the show. So we'll give that to you. But as I said at the top of the show an hour ago, it's one of the things about this job. People are like, who should I put? And I'm going like, listen, you want to ask me who to bet on Monday Night Football? I'll give you an answer. You want to ask me who to bet on in a random ACC basketball game? I'll give you the info. I'll give you the players that are hurt. Like I have the info. I do not pretend to be anything more than someone filling out a bracket for NCAA Tournament March Madness, because guess what? The smartest people you know are not anything but a person filling out a bracket when it comes to March Madness. It's why they call it madness. And it's why I tell you to have fun, pick the games you want to pick, no regrets. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is the Fan Tournament Tailgate here on 99.9 The Fan. I love that I just gave that speech because I'm going to tell you long shots I like coming up next. But first, here's Dennis Cox.
Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. Folks, you're probably riding or driving around. You're probably seeing a lot more motorcycles out there on the road. You may have even seen me. So keep that in mind as the weather turns nice. But imagine as you're riding down the road, you see a motorcycle go by like, you know what if I had my own? What if I had my own motorcycle that was a custom-built one-of-one that was also a Caniacs motorcycle? That could be a reality, folks. Go to caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers, Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, and your Carolina Hurricanes, they've all teamed up once again to give one lucky fan a motorcycle this year. But this year is special. This year is different. It is a custom-built motorcycle by Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson, fully custom painted by Shiny Side Paint, both located right here in Raleigh. Cane's colors, decals, logos, absolutely gorgeous bike, white wall tires. I've seen it in the bike in person a couple times. Wonderful. I wish I could win it. I can't. You can. Go to caniacsbike.com. Again, go to caniacsbike.com. By the way, if you are a motorcycle rider like myself, go to lawtigers.com. Scroll down. Check out their free rider info kit, your free rider benefit kit. That is free for you. Understand all the rights and everything that you have as a motorcycle rider, so you make sure you are fully protected when you're out there on the road in case an accident does happen. Again, go to lawtigers.com. But to enter to win the bike, go to caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan Tournament Tailgate looks towards the long shots. What long shots and what type of long shots do we think are going to have a chance to make some noise here in the NCAA tournament? Stick around. It's coming up.
Welcome to AT&T. How can I help?
Hey, I thought I could trust my twins with my phone, but they outnumber me, man.
Whoa, that's a lot of glitter paint. Let's trade
lives.
At AT&T, everyone can trade in an old or glittered iPhone. Any year, any condition, and save on a new iPhone. Ask how to get iPhone 16 Pro on us. New and existing customers. Savings vary by device and trade-in combinations. Restrictions apply. See att.com for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hardee's hand-breaded chicken goodness. 100% white meat dipped in buttermilk and lightly hand-breaded. Served on a toasted bun for a perfectly crispy meets juicy chicken sandwich, or on a home-style tender platter with your favorite dipping sauce, like new Duke's Carolina Gold barbecue sauce. Lunch, dinner, or anytime, there's nothing quite like the goodness of Hardee's hand-breaded chicken. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Attention watch enthusiasts and collectors. Bailey's Fine Jewelry invites you to an exclusive pre-owned Rolex event happening for 2 days only, March 21st and 22nd at their Village District location in Raleigh. Discover North Carolina's largest selection of vintage and pre-owned Rolex timepieces featuring sought-after models like the Daytona and Submariner and collector favorites like the iconic Pepsi and Hulk. Whether you're a seasoned collector or searching for your very first Rolex, this is your chance to explore an unmatched collection March 21st and 22nd only at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in the Village District. Visit BaileyBox.com for event details. Your perfect Rolex awaits.
Don't go through another year with all that high interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get a free rate quote with no hard credit pull, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to BABBEL.com. That's Babbel.com.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
Attention passengers, we've reached 10,000 feet and internet is now available for purchase.
I just paid hundreds for this flight and you can't even throw in internet? I'll just take the free pretzels.
Sorry, but I do have snack boxes for sale.
I'm just gonna sleep.
In that case, we are selling pillows and blankets as well.
I'll just breathe. That's free, right?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Fan Tournament Tailgate on 99.9 The Fan is presented by Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fairway Green, First Horizon Bank, Wake Med, Roofworks, Metro Elevator, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. This might be everybody's favorite conversation about March Madness. We're talking long shots. We're talking the underdogs, the Cinderellas, who can go on a run and become the story of the tourney. Dennis, you told me that there's some already getting ahead of us on the YouTube live stream comments.
We do. We actually have a couple people that are chiming in here. For example, Jason says, I feel Drake is going to make some damage in the tourney this year. Led the nation in scoring defense. Go Bulldogs.
Okay. I have an argument for Drake as well, so we'll get there.
I actually have Drake winning their first round game as well.
Ooh, against Missouri. It's 6 seed. That's an 11 over a 6.
Yeah, which has actually been the more consistent upset over the last several years has actually been the 11 over the 6, not the 12 over the 5.
Everybody always says 12 over a 5, though.
But
Casuals,
since
is what you're saying?
Yes, but I think since 2018, I think it's nearly been 50-50. 11s over 6s. But Chad says, bold prediction. Let me know if this gets a buzzer or a bell. Bold prediction. All 4 ACC teams make it to the Sweet 16.
Bold. 4 for 4 playing on the second weekend? Yeah.
Especially Louisville's going to have to beat Auburn.
Yeah. Bold. Definitely there for it. All right, here's the deal. I said earlier that if people ask me for predictions on the bracket, I rarely give them. But what I will do is, and I do this for anytime anyone asks me for any kind of pick or bet or anything, is I explain why. I give you reasoning, and then I give you, you have the option. If you agree with my reasoning, you can tail the pick. If you don't agree with the reasoning, don't, right? But don't just blindly follow. So when I look for my long shots, this is something over years and years of observation that I've come up with. The long shots that make a run. I'm not talking about the long shots that win a game, because winning a game, I believe, can be a fluke, right? If you have guys that just catch fire from three and they shoot well better, way above their normal level, they can win a game, okay? And that's why there's so many, good like what was the team that lost to State last year with the shooter guy who's in the G League now. That's going to annoy the heck out of me. He played for Oakland. I forget his name.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly. Everyone knows who you're talking about. Golke, yeah.
That would have ruined me for the rest of the day. Like they won a game, but they didn't keep it going, right? If you want to make a run into the second weekend, I think you actually have to have something of substance. The long shots that make a run usually come in what I call one of two flavors. One of the flavors is super unique. I'll call this the Syracuse rule. For years under Jim Boeheim, Syracuse, do you know where they lived? They bought real estate on that bubble. Every year, they were one of the last four in or first four out. They were just like the 8th best ACC team, and they were on the bubble. And they would lose a bunch of games in the regular season, particularly to ACC teams, because ACC teams saw the 2-3 zone that they ran all the darn time. And year over year, coaches got better and better at coaching against it. And right, like it's not like, oh, Coach K and Roy Williams are surprised by Syracuse 2-3 zone. But when they got to the tournament, they were usually paired up with, some Big 12 team, or they were paired up with some Mountain West Sun Belt, and they had never seen the 2-3 zone. That's unique, and that's hard to prepare for in a very short amount of time, right? It's difficult. So the uniqueness, they would end up like in the Final Four, and I'm going like, I watched them all year in the ACC. They're not that good, but their uniqueness allowed them to be a difficult out. DJ Burns was the same last year. You can't prepare for DJ Burns in 48 hours. You'd have to go find an offensive tackle from your football team and have him come out to practice just to give a vibe for how big he is. So that's one flavor. The other, and I talked about this yesterday, is what I call the hidden NBA player. You don't know it yet. You might not know it at the time, but they have one of like the 30 best basketball players in the world. You could also call this is naming my theory, the childhood sports movie rule, the Mighty Ducks rule, which is the narratives for why a team is going on a run will be all about hard work and sticking together. And this team always believed in themselves, when in actuality, all you did was redraw the district lines to give your teams Brad Banks, right? That's Mighty Ducks, right? Oh, Gordon Bombay is such a wizard of a coach. It's like, or we're watching 10-year-old hockey, and you forced the best player on the best team to switch teams to the worst team, and sometimes that's all it takes in youth sports is to have the future pro on your squad. Same with like Sandlot. It's like, oh, how are they so good at baseball? Well, Benny the Jet's going to play for the Dodgers. That probably helps. In real life, the examples, Butler going on their runs, it's like turns out Gordon Hayward was an all-star. VCU going on those runs, or was it VC? Was Fred VanVleet Wichita or VCU? I know it was black and gold. Wichita, I agree. Fred VanVleet, turns out he's a $40 million a year player. Oh, look at that, Wichita! What an upstart young Cinderella. That's one way to look at it, right? You don't know, or when Lehigh upset Duke, it's like, oh, CJ McCollum. So looking at this year's teams, I have an example of each of those flavors. You can pick them in your bracket or you cannot. You have about 40 minutes to change your mind. The unique long shot, shout out to my brother-in-law who actually went here. The unique long shot, Bryant. They are a 15 seed up against Michigan State.
Okay.
They run and they block shots at a weird level. They are third in the country in blocked shots per game. They are behind only UConn and Auburn in block shots per. This is Bryant, Rhode Island's finest. They are 7th in the country in possessions per game. Amongst teams in the tournament, they are only behind Alabama in pace of play. So this is a small school that not many people have heard of, and they get off the bus running, and they get off the bus blocking shots. I don't know if that's unique enough to make a run, but it's definitely not something you normally see from these mid-majors. So if there's a 15 over a 2, again, I'm just explaining, you can do with this info what you want. If there's a 15 over a 2, that might be the move. The hidden NBA player might be very well hidden.
Okay.
Drake's Bennett Sturtz. He scores at a high level. 6'4" junior combo guard. The guy plays darn near every minute. He's like one of those guys that averages over 40 minutes a game because there was an overtime game somewhere along the way. So it's like 40.02 minutes in a 40-minute game. Yeah, he plays a ton. Stays out of foul trouble, obviously. But here's the interesting part. Drake played nobody this year. They played one other team that's in the tournament that just their schedule not difficult. So there's this contingent of NBA scouts that is intrigued by Bennett Sturtz, but they're also going like, I'm not going to put him like in my mock draft until I see him against better competition. So he's hidden because of that. But if he ends up being like, if the things you saw against bad competition end up being real, he could be a future NBA guy who was hidden on Drake. And as you mentioned, you picked them. I don't even know if Sturtz came into your purview. But number 11 seeded Drake tackling a number 6 Missouri. If Sturtz ends up being the real deal, that's how they can end up playing in the Sweet 16 or Elite 8, where it's a wild surprise now, but then 10 years later we look into the future and we're like, oh yeah, Sturtz is going into his 6th year as the starting point guard for the Spurs. Maybe it wasn't that crazy that they went on a little NCAA tournament run. I think Davidson was Steph Curry, right? It's like, how is Davidson doing it? Looking back, is it really that crazy that maybe the best point guard to ever live was able to get his team into the second weekend of March Madness? No, but at the time, it was wild and crazy, right? That's what you're kind of looking for. So those are the ones that I might put in my bracket. Maybe, perhaps.
I know a lot of people are big on High Point, at least in that first round game. A lot of people were very big on that one. To me, first year in the tournament, it's kind of hard.
It works for you or against you.
Yeah.
Because you might not know that it's difficult to get there, right? It's like, no, we'll be back next year. So you play a little loosey-goosey when you don't realize, right? It's sometimes the blissful ignorance, right? You just don't know what you don't know, or the opposite is happening, where you're like, first time in a long time, back muscles tighten, we're in the tournament. I do not have High Point winning in their first round. I do know that.
Neither do I.
But I would be all for it. It'd be really fun. I like when teams from the state of North Carolina give it a ride. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. As you focus in on other things, right, for the next month, essentially, right, but definitely for the next 4 days, you don't want to be worried about things like your air conditioner. You don't want to be worried about things like your plumbing. What's that funny sound coming from inside my walls? You don't want to be worried about any of that. So when you have something pop up or you want some maintenance done on your heater, your water heater, something like that, call Mainer Service Company. Obviously, if disaster happens, right, there's a massive backup in your plumbing or something, call Mainer Service Company, 24/7 service across the entire triangle. They'll rush on out there and get it done. But also in times of calm, right? In times of calm, call Mainer Service Company, especially if you don't have a relationship with them already. Have them come out, look at your air conditioner, have them do some maintenance, look around. Those little decisions can prevent the big disasters, right? They want to develop a relationship with you so they know your house as well as they possibly can, which also helps in those panic situations. Basically what I'm saying is, give them a call. 919-361-0993. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, water heaters, as I mentioned. Give them a call. 919-361-0993. Or check out their website, MainerServices.com. MAYNOR Services.com. The first game of the NCAA tournament today is a doozy, and it features an ACC team. Number 9 Creighton versus number 8 Louisville starts in a half hour. I'll give you everything you need to know about that one coming up next.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's nonstop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before.
Oh, yeah! Big money!
Visit nclottery.com to get in on the action. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instance for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
This ain't your grandpa's golf game. It's League Mini Golf. Join the Hop Shots Golf League at Raleigh Beer Garden on Glenwood South. Registration is now open, so grab your teammate and get signed up at theRaleighBeerGarden.com. Each two-player team will play a round each week. There's a weekly winner and a big tournament grand prize, plus an end-of-season tournament party with free food and bevs. Hop Shots League Night starts March 24th, so get your sign-up in today at theRaleighBeerGarden.com. Then get ready to have a ball.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, Creighton Blackwell here at Coastal Credit Union 99.9 The Fan, and we're here to celebrate yet another Scholar Athlete. This month, we're at Middle Creek High School, where we celebrate our newest Scholar Athlete of the Month, Kristen Norton.
My parents have always been there for me. And then my teammates, they really helped me with the mental part of it. So they really helped bring me up when I make mistakes or something and just keep me grounded.
She's just a great person. She's a great leader by example and also vocally.
She's just that type of person. It doesn't matter what the situation is, anything that can help the team. She's a great young lady.
It's amazing to have on the team. She's a really good role model and a leader on the team.
She's always first to step in and try something new to help the team.
What does winning this award mean to you?
It just means that all my hard work has really shown. Some days I'm what have I done? What have I accomplished? But getting this was people have actually seen my improvements and my accomplishments. So it's good. It's really good. Yeah.
Congratulations, Kristen.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Everything for the exterior of your home, but it's also everything for the peace of mind of the customer. Talk to me about the trust factor and everything else that you guys offer.
I got to tell you, I think one of the biggest things for us is we don't take any payment from you for any of your home improvement needs until we're done with the project. I hear stories all the time about people putting down deposits with companies, 25, 50% of the project total overall, and they don't even know, they don't show up.
Right.
You've lost whatever percentage you put down, that's how much power you lost already. Right? So with us, you pay nothing until we're done. Typically we're not the least expensive, and we're certainly not the most expensive. You get 3 or 4 estimates, we're going to fall right there in the middle. But, you're going to have a warranty that's lifetime, transferable for 10 years on any of the products we sell typically. And we've been around since 1961. You can trust us. We've been around forever.
It is about trust, and I think you guys are the most trustworthy business that I know. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
Less than a half hour to the greatest sporting event, one of. The greatest. We'll call it the greatest today. The NCAA tournament starts in earnest today. I know we had the first games Tuesday, Wednesday.
I get split between this and the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Stanley Cup playoffs are just amazing.
I'll throw in the Masters.
Nah.
That's I said that. Also, conference championship week in the NFL is pretty darn good. First weekend of college football is pretty darn good. Not week 0, the real first weekend. There's Actually, I'll go rivalry week in college football. The week where you get all those
Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to rank them all right now. I'm just going to say today's pretty darn awesome.
It is.
I don't know why I'm sitting here trying to find something better than it rather than just enjoying the moment. The Fan Tournament Tailgate on 99.9 The Fan, presented by Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fairway Green, First Horizon Bank, Wake Med, Roofworks, Metro Elevator, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. 27 minutes from now is the scheduled opening tip of the tourney and also of the Creighton-Louisville game. That's number 9-seeded Creighton against 8-seed Louisville. Before we get into the game, why is this the first game of the bracket? Dennis, I've already ranted to you about this, but I'll give it to the people.
Okay.
If I'm scheduling the tournament, okay, if I get to be the czar and I get to pick the games, 0% chance am I putting a 8 versus 9 essentially coin flip game first. Because do you know what's going to happen? 50% of the people, their bracket's going to be shot by, or not shot, but at least not perfect by the end of the very first game. Anyone that's ever started a bracket like 3 or 4-0, you don't have to go 8-0. If you just start a bracket with your first 4 games, 4-0, you're immediately invested. You're like, I am a genius. I'm going to win every pool I'm in. So why wouldn't you make that artificial for everybody? If I were doing it, first game would be like a 14 versus a 3. Next game would be a 15 versus a 2. Might throw in like a 12-5. Right? And assume that most people, the percentages, are going to leave that group either with a wildly exciting upset or 3-0. Everybody's excited. Everybody's jacked up. Everybody's rolling to the next games more excited than when they started. 9 versus 8, if Creighton beats Louisville, is anybody like, that was such a crazy upset? No. And also, if you don't know college basketball, you see an 8 versus 9, you probably just go, I don't know that one. So it's 50% of the people. Anyway, not the best opener, not the best leadoff hitter, but actually the game's going to be really fun. I think
the thing. You might get a heater of a game, though, which might get people like, oh, let's go.
Louisville is criminally underseeded. I talked about this. They might be the 8th best team in the country from a resume standpoint, and they're an 8 seed in their region. And you may say, that's exaggerating. They're 10th in the AP poll. The coaches poll has them 11th. So the coaches in college basketball have said this is the 11th best team out of every team in the country, and the committee said they're the 8th best team in their region. Criminally underrated. But Creighton has something going for them as well. Remember I said that unique is very valuable in the NCAA tournament because you're playing against a bunch of opponents that you don't see often. Ryan Kalkbrenner is a 7'1" 4-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year. That's, first of all, it's rare to even have somebody in college for 4 straight years, let alone playing for the same team in the same conference for 4 straight years, let alone being the best defensive player in that conference for that team for 4 straight years. That means Donovan Clingan, remember him from UConn? 7-footer, blocked 1 billion shots on their way to a national championship. I think he was like the 6th pick to Portland. This guy was a better defender than him, according to whoever votes for the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. That's unique. So the Louisville being so criminally underseeded really messes over everybody. Because Creighton, as a 9 seed, shouldn't be playing someone as good as Louisville as an 8 seed. Louisville, as what probably should have been a 5th seed at minimum, shouldn't be playing somebody as good as Kalkbrenner for Creighton. And then the third loser is Auburn, because the winner of this game plays Auburn. If Auburn wins their opener, Auburn is the number 1 overall seed. A 16 over a 1 would shake things up.
I'm going to safe assumption.
Yeah, exactly.
Safe assumption.
I'm comfortable being wrong with that.
Yeah.
So Auburn in the second round is either going to play another top 10 team in the AP poll. We could have a second round game. Auburn's not number 1 in the AP poll, by the way. They're number 4 because they've lost 3 of their last 4. So Auburn could have a 4 versus 10 AP poll matchup in the second round, which is also a 1 versus 8 seeding matchup, which would not make any sense. Or Auburn, the 1 seed, could be playing a unique 7'1" shot blocker that's been in college for twice as long as most people expect a multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year in a major conference. Like, that's what they're going through. And all of that starts in 22 minutes. That game right there. And I know I'm like waxing poetic about the NCAA tournament a lot, but if there's a day to do it, it's today, right? That right there is the beauty of the NCAA tournament. Right? It's why I watch the NCAA tournament oftentimes with my laptop open in front of me, because every single game, right? We're going to have 16 games today, 16 games tomorrow. Every single game, if you do like a modicum of research, not even research is the wrong term. If you just click on a couple links on Google, you walk away with storylines, right? You walk away with backstory and history. right? You walk away with, it's not just Creighton versus Louisville, right? Now it's this gigantic defensive player, a throwback to a previous era of basketball, up against this Louisville squad that came together, 12 brand new players, new coach. Nobody on Louisville was on Louisville last year. And they had this great season, made it all the way, scheduled aggressively in non-conference, made it all the way to their conference championship game where they lost to maybe the best team in the country in Duke. Yet they're an 8 seed, so they're angry. Right now you have origin stories for games like this, and you can do that for every single game. And you might not like what you like, or might not like what you learn, and guess what you have there? Somebody to root against. Right? We had a caller yesterday talking about Will Wade and his history against the NCAA with recruiting violations. And the caller, a little over the top, I believe, but passionate in their opinions, love it. Brought up Bruce Pearl, right? Oh, Bruce Pearl this, Bruce Pearl that. He da. If you don't like Bruce Pearl's history with infractions or whatnot, boom. You now have Auburn as the villain in this NCAA tournament bracket, right? And Dennis, what do I say about I know you're a big superhero movie fan.
Yep.
The best superhero movies?
Best villains.
There it is.
Villain make the story.
Exactly. So you might not like everything you find. You might find John Calipari might rub you the wrong way, or some player might be a little too whatever for you. Well, boom, now you have your villain. Find both, right? Find what you like. You might, by the way, I just told you something about Louisville that you might hate, right? They built their entire team pretty much out of the portal. You might be anti-portal. You might want to find Clemson. What does Clemson have? They've got a Hunter, who's a 6th-year player, all of them at Clemson. Shefflin, who's a 4-year player, all of them at Clemson. The other Hunter, who's a 3-year player, all of them at Clemson. Like, if you want the loyalty, boom, you're rooting for Clemson, you're rooting against Louisville. There's stories like that in every single game. And that's kind of how you can decide who and when and where to root for your teams. For me, I don't really care about the portal. I think you should go do what you want to do. So I don't have a problem with Louisville.
Will Wade doesn't have a problem with the portal.
Will Wade does not have a problem with the portal. Oh, speaking of Clemson, McNeese State head coach Will Wade, yesterday all the reports emerged that he is going to be the head coach of NC State next year. He better not be against the portal, because that's the easiest way for NC State to go from not making the ACC tournament last year to making the NCAA tournament with room to spare next year. Dennis, do we have some audio that you told me about?
We do. We actually have Will Wade. This is earlier in the week, was asked about, is he afraid of players possibly leaving McNeese State? And Will Wade basically said no, and here's his reason why.
If a mid-major coach has a good year, he gets to move up. If a mid-major player has a good year, why shouldn't he get to move up? I mean, that just makes intuitive sense to me. And so, I think that, and then you can use that to sell that. I've told kids who come here, come here for a year or two, we'll get you better, and your numbers are good. We'll ship you off to a high major. I think that's great. I mean, that's the way it should work. And, I don't see any problem with that. And then, the team that loses him, that's no fun, but you can go find another one. You can sell that. Hey, look, we just did this for this kid. We're going to do the same thing for you. Come follow the same formula.
I first of all love that he understands the new world, right? And he's not blindly depending on loyalty to keep players at a school and saying, if you leave, it's messed up. It's not messed up. It's the way it is now. The one thing I will say is that's a very different idea at McNeese State than it is at NC State.
For sure.
I played football at the University of Delaware. I've told people that I believe have influence over Delaware that you should ask for 2 years for the University of Delaware football. If you should recruit guys and say, listen, freshman year, if you ball out, give us your sophomore year. After your sophomore year, I'll call in my coaching friends. I'll make you a highlight tape. We'll have a combine where you can run a 40 for Power 5 schools to come look at you in the portal. Like, give us 2 years, though. And that's because Delaware is not Alabama. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we're not trying to be Alabama. We're trying to be Delaware. At McNeese State, same thing. Transfers will help you. Yeah, we want you to. At NC State, we don't really look at ourselves as a step below. And this is NC State talking. They don't look at themselves below like, oh, we'll help you get to the next level. They believe they are the top level. So it's a little bit of a different opinion there, a little bit of a different thinking, but I do like that Will Wade sees the bigger picture in college basketball. We have to make our Final Four predictions. We have to get our things on wax, receipts, so when it happens, we can brag, and when it doesn't, we can go, ha, 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 knew it wouldn't. But first, Dennis Cox has some information he wants to pass along to you.
Dennis Cox here, my friends at Loan Pronto. Folks, what could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly turning your home equity into cold hard cash, so you can pay off all your credit cards or maybe start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen, the average homeowner has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get the money you need for anything. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, puts our Final Four down on wax. We get receipts. Both Dennis and I make picks next.
Every sandwich has bread, every burger has a bun, but these warm, golden, smooth steam buns, these are special, reserved for the very best. The Filet-O-Fish, and you can have them too.
Mix and match faves like a Filet-O-Fish, McCrispy, Spicy McCrispy, or 10-piece McNuggets. Now get any 2 for only $6. Prices and participation may vary. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, 149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. What? They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, cause this deal's for a limited time. 149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Tim Donnelly here, and I want to tell you about the coolest place in town. The Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry in their Village District location in Raleigh. Not only do they have the coolest selection of timepieces, we're talking pre-owned and vintage Rolexes, Hamilton, Norcane, and so much more, but they're also a vibe. Vinyl records playing, grab yourself a drink, and enjoy some great company. It's the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop. Luxury watches, men's jewelry, and unique gifts. Visit BaileyBox.com for more and cool out.
You have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-444-2013. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-444-2013. That's 800-444-2013. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There's only one thing left to do. There's 11 minutes until the games start. Creighton, Louisville will be the opener. And you'll hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. I know that game will be featured.
Yes.
Obviously, you can't have play-by-play for like 17 games all going on at once. So, Dennis, how does our broadcast look going from noon when we get off air until the Canes game starts tonight? What are kind of the games you can expect to be featured?
So we have Creighton, Louisville, like you mentioned, is going to be a feature game. For all you NC State fans, roughly around 3:15, McNeese State taking on Clemson. You'll hear that's going to be one of the feature games here on 99.9 The Fan, part of Westwood One as well. Later on this evening, 7 o'clock, we will have Arkansas, Kansas, and then a little bit of UC San Diego, Michigan. By the way, Canes tonight do start at 10 o'clock. Adam Gold Storm Watch. So if you want to keep listening to basketball, it's over on Buzz Sports Radio. All of the greatness. So we have ACC top teams that you'll hear early on. Will Wade, his McNeese State squad, all right here for you coming up in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. By the way, Campbell fans out there, I know you're not in the tourney, but the guy who hopefully will get you there has been named. New head coach John Andershek. Named today by Campbell. Press release. It's official. He is an assistant at Florida. As it stands right now. So he will be he'll be finishing out the Florida run, and then shortly after that, the press conference and everything, he'll take over the Campbell Fighting Camels. Dennis, we have to name our Final Fours.
Yes, we do.
Pick why, pick who's going to win it all. You have to lock them in. Again, you have 10 minutes to fill out your bracket. Why don't you go ahead and lead off and name your Final Four?
My Final Four, Duke. Do I need to say more other than Duke?
I guess there's an assumption there you think Cooper Flagg will be healthy.
I think so as well. Even if he isn't fully healthy this weekend, when he gets to the Sweet 16 and all that stuff next week. But even still, that's a stacked roster. So give me Duke as part of the Final Four. Give me Tennessee coming out of the Midwest region. Houston's the number 1 seed in the Midwest. Give me Tennessee coming out of that region. Out of the West, give me Florida. I think they're just an awesome team to watch. We'll see them here in Raleigh for a couple of days. And out of the South region, give me Michigan as a 5 seed. You know why? Pair of 7-footers, which is something not everyone is able to deal with. You want to talk about unique situations come tournament time? Not everyone's used to dealing with a couple of 7-footers who start and play.
All right. They just won the Big Ten championship.
They did. To me, I see that as, they're on a little bit of a heater.
I see that as criminally underrated 5 seed. If you win and
tied for second in the regular season of the Big Ten.
Their 5 seems low there. That's all I'll say.
Do you want my champion?
Yes.
Duke over Florida, 89-81.
All right. I
I'm doing a score because why not?
It's the tiebreaker and all the apps that you fill them out in. All right. That's on wax if it happens. You've heard it. Dennis locked it in ahead of time. My Final Four is nearly chalk. I have 3 1 seeds. I have Duke, I have Auburn, and I have Houston. So it's Duke versus Houston, and Auburn's on the other side. I can't get through. There are some analytical arguments that have those 3 head and shoulders above the rest of the country when it comes to complete basketball, offense, defense, the efficiencies on both sides. Those 3, there's some plot graphs where it's like everybody's in a jumble, and then way out top right there's Houston, Auburn, and Duke. So that I couldn't get my brain to pick against them. So those 3 are in. My 4th member of the Final Four is a 4 seed, Maryland.
Really?
Coach just got paid.
Really?
And I'm high on, actually, it's one of Cooper Flagg's high school teammates, Derek Queen. The way he's been described to me by people I trust is if he were from Europe, he would be a top 4 pick in the NBA draft because he's not dunking on you big, but his feel for the game is crazy. His passing, his shot making, his touch is bananas. So, again, the way it was described to me was if his last name ended in a Kov or a Ski or an Ich, like Jokic, Doncic, if it ended like that, he would be a top 4 pick in the NBA draft. So, with that being said, give me Maryland to go on a run all the way to the Final Four behind Queen as their main guy. Which I like to see, like obviously he's in the background a little bit for the high school team that features Cooper Flagg. I like to see guys like take their star-making role. My championship is Duke over Auburn, though. I have Duke over Auburn. Once Auburn gets through their second-round matchup against the winner of Creighton Louisville, I like their path. That's just a really scary second-rounder. So it could really end it for me pretty badly. That's going to do it for us here on The Drive.
Do you have a final score for that game?
Off the top, I'll go 84-76.
Okay.
Some free throws make it more possessions than it probably felt during the game. That's going to do it for us today. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 to noon. Get you ready for those Duke and UNC openers tomorrow. React to everything tonight. Don't forget Canes tonight, West Coast, 10:30 puck drop, 10 o'clock Storm Watch right here on 99.9 The Fan. It is still a hockey night in Carolina. It is also time for basketball, everybody.
Let's get it.
Time for basketball.
Let's go.
We'll have all the coverage here right here on 99.9 The Fan. I'm looking forward to it. Find a television screen or 7 of them and enjoy the games today. Good luck to your brackets. Have a wonderful day. Follow us on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. We'll see you tomorrow.
Wolfpack Sports Today is presented by Dreamfinders